I've heard very different opinions about Daygame in Stockholm. Some guys say it's full with adventurous, beautiful blondes, while others say it's the world capital of feminism and Daygame doesn't work here. So I came here to find out for myself. I came here to coach a student for 4 days, and in this video I'm going to show you different parts of Stockholm where you can Daygame and explain what types of girls you're going to meet in each of those places. Also, I'll tell you what was my student's experience, how he was doing in sets, so you can get a general idea of how Daygame works here. And we're also going to talk about a few other things you gotta know about Stockholm, like bars, prices, etc. Let's go! And the first thing we're going to start with is looking at different locations where you can Daygame. And since I'm staying on a southern island called, I think, Southern Malm, the best place to start is near this metro station. Slussen metro station is where you're going to see a bunch of girls pretty much any time of the day. When I've been here around 10 a.m., around noon, 2, 4, 5, up until 7 in the evening, and this place was always pretty crowded. So if you are also staying on a southern island, this is a great place to start. We didn't do a lot of sets here, but from what I saw, the most people you will see here are the locals on their way to wherever they're going. And next we're gonna leave the Slussen station behind us. We're gonna cross that bridge there and head to the old town. Most people you're gonna see in the old town are gonna be in the groups. It's tourists from very many different countries, from totally young to elderly people, but it's not a great place to look for single sets. The most sets you're gonna see here are gonna be 2 sets, 3 sets and more. So if you're not fine with doing that, I don't think this part of town is worth checking out, if only for the beauty of seeing the old town itself. If dealing with group sets in the old town isn't really your thing, then I'll show you the next location. The location where you'll probably be doing most of your sets. It's a very long shopping street, and I must tell you, I consider that place a gold mine. If you walk down the main street in the old town, you'll end up at this building. This is the Parliament building, and this is where the shopping street starts. This is actually where my student did a set with a beautiful girl from Australia yesterday, and he ended up having a date with her later the same day. I still don't know how it ended, but I'll tell you at the end of the video. In the old town, you're gonna see tourists from many different parts of the world. I'm not gonna say all parts of the world, because you have to understand Stockholm is a fairly expensive city. So of course, most people from Eastern Europe are not coming here, but still it's very full with people from very different parts of the world. Also, you don't have to worry about doing 2 sets, 3 sets, etc., because there are also very many solo sets available on the shopping street. And if you meet a beautiful solo traveler and you have to go on a night date, then these espresso house coffee shops are the local version of Starbucks. Starbucks, when they tried to move into Sweden, totally failed, but these places you'll find all over the city, and they're great for night dates. Once you've reached the Centralen metro stop, and there is a big street cutting the shopping street in half. I know many Daygamers actually prefer to stay on this part of the shopping street and don't go to the other side. I don't know why. I personally haven't explored the other part of the shopping street, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it. If you explore it and you find some good reasons why it's bad, just mention it in the comments so other guys also know about it. If you get tired from Daygaming tourists and you want to see some posh, beautiful, blonde Swedes coming out of their offices in their a bit more formal outfits, I'm going to show you where to find these. We're going to go to a bit more posh part of town, but on the way there I'm going to show you a shopping mall where you can Daygame if it ever gets rainy. Not only the street in front of this shopping mall is full with people, but this is the best place we have found for Daygaming when it's rainy outside. If you walk just a few more minutes down the same street where the shopping mall was, you end up on this beautiful square where a student did a bunch of sets, but what's important is this square is right next to the posh area I wanted to show you. On the smaller streets around that square you will find all the posh stores, a bunch of posh cafes and restaurants, and of course all the posh people. So if that's the type of girl you like, then definitely check out this part of Stockholm. And when we were out yesterday, actually the hottest girls we saw was near this shopping mall in this square, and again on the streets around it. And this is another street my students showed me yesterday. It's a small posh street with sort of posh restaurants. From what I understand, this place is not as popular for day gamers. So probably if you come here, you're gonna be alone, but you have to understand this isn't the place where you're gonna find the adventurous 20-year-old solo travelers. This isn't in general the place where you're gonna find the younger, more adventurous girls. This place is a bit more posh, so the crowd here is gonna be a bit more established, maybe late 20s, starting from mid to late 20s and older. But of course, as with all the posh places, the quality is here. And the last location I wanted to show you is the waterfront, the promenade. Student thought this place is pretty good on Sundays and Saturdays, and on work days you kind of have to come here, see if it's busy, if it's not, and you can just go and explore other locations. And when you're done exploring all of the shopping streets and the posh parts of town, and you want to just go to a place, open some younger hipsterish girls and chill out in simple hipster bars, hit the southern island where we started this journey, because that part of the town is known as the hipster part of Stockholm. And now it's time for me to head back to the apartment and sit down in front of a laptop so we can talk about the best parts of town to stay at, types of girls you're gonna meet here, feminism, and how my student did here. And now let's look at two places in the city where you might want to get your Airbnb. Let's look at two maps that my student sent me to explain where should I look for an Airbnb. One of the places is called Östermalm. That is a fancier part of the city. So if you want fancier bars, fancier people, that's where you want to stay. It's gonna be quite a bit more expensive, but most of your day gaming will take place there. And the other option on the other map is Södermalm, or the Southern Island, which you saw previously on a video. I'm staying on the northern side of the Southern Island, so right on top of it, and that is around a 25-minute walk to where all the day gaming is taking place, with Alton being in the middle. So if you want a bit more hipster vibe and save a little bit of money, then the Southern Island is the place to go. But if you kind of don't care how much you're spending for an Airbnb, want to be in the center of the action, then go for Östermalm. So what are the girls in Stockholm like? Well, the stereotype is true. The place is full with beautiful, beautiful blondes. You will also see many beautiful girls with Middle Eastern heritage. Also, once in a while, you'll see a beautiful black girl or some very nice girls with Asian heritage. So very different types of girls, I would say, but all of them know how to take good care of themselves. Although if you are used to the Eastern European girls like in Ukraine or Latvia, who really know how to kind of doll themselves up a little bit, be a little bit princessy, if you like that, you will not see a lot of that here. But again, that being said, the girls here really know how to take care of themselves. The hair is amazing, and short dresses in the summer heat is basically the norm here. Although some of the girls in Sweden are a little bit too athletic for my taste, but I know there are many guys who like it. Next, let's talk about feminism. When I was coming to Stockholm, I was expecting people to chase me around with pitchforks just because I'm approaching girls, or just because my student is approaching girls, and I saw none of that. Just as I thought, and just as these things usually are, they are just over-exaggerations, probably by people who aren't doing that great in day game and want to find someone else to blame than themselves, or maybe someone isn't going out and they have a good reason to not go out. At no moment I saw any signs of anyone even caring that we're opening anyone here. And I also want to talk about a few things about alcohol and bars in Stockholm. Well, first of all, you have to understand that one beer here costs around 10 euro, 10 US dollars. Yeah, that's pretty crazy compared to most of Europe, especially compared to Eastern Europe. Bars aren't on every corner. There aren't as many bars as you would expect in any city in Europe. So that's kind of weird. I don't know what's the case. So make sure you do your homework, and also make sure you have backup venues in case you go to a venue and it's full. Also, you cannot buy alcohol in a store. You have to go to specific liquor stores who I think don't sell alcohol on Sundays. I'm not sure about Saturdays. And on the work days, they also close pretty early. So you have to kind of prepare in advance. In a store, you will only be able to buy a beer, if I'm not mistaken, up to 2.7% alcohol. And now let's talk about the last Question: how easy or hard is Daygame in Stockholm? Well, I'm gonna be kind of honest here. I'm not really sure because I've only coached one student here, and to get a good feeling about Daygame in a city, I have to coach 2 or 3 students here. That way I can see what happens over 200 sets if I'm coaching 2 students, and each of them will do 100 sets. But from what I've seen, girls are stopping when you stop them. We have seen very few blowouts. We have seen very negative reactions, and then if after the stop what you are doing is on point, they usually stay, they listen, and even if they don't want to stay in a set and talk to you, they are very polite about it. They will just excuse themselves with a good reason where they have to go. We didn't see any negative aggressive reactions. I met several local day gamers, and I know that 2 of them on a day before yesterday got same day lace. So that probably shows you that if you know what you're doing, then you'll probably be doing okay in Stockholm. I also know a bunch of guys, well, a few guys here that are trying and that are learning and going out and taking action, but that aren't getting anywhere. So from that, I could conclude that probably if you are a beginner who is struggling in easier cities, some places in Central and Eastern Europe, then maybe coming to Stockholm is not a good idea. It might be too hard. But if you are doing okay in many other cities and you wanna try something new, you wanna see those beautiful, tall Swedish blondes, then I think you should be doing quite fine in Stockholm as well. I must admit, I really liked Stockholm, and I'm here just for a few days, but in the next summer, I'm feeling that if I have 3 students that want to come to Stockholm and learn day game here, I might come here for a month to get a really better understanding of the city, and I think it's just a cool city to hang out at. And with all of this being said, I'm gonna pack my backpack. I have to check out from my Airbnb in an hour. I gotta do the last coaching day in Sweden, and tonight I'm heading back to Riga, Latvia. If you decide to come to Sweden and you wanna make sure your basics are on the spot, you really understand the technicalities of the day game set, then make sure you check out the Structured Natural video series where I walk over all the technical nuances you have to know about the day game set, from the stop to the stacking, to the storytelling, getting her to invest, grounding, closing strong, and everything else. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next vlog. Ciao guys!